Hi, welcome to Wikitiki Code. Let's talk about a robotic Arduino motor. So in this project, I'm going to show you the step-by-step process of how a robotic motor is controlled and via the Arduino board. Usually, a motor is there, and this motor can be controlled via the electronics devices. You'll be having a push button, a kind of things to on and off the motor. So I'm using an Arduino board for that. This is the existing system. And in the proposed model, what we are trying to do is we'll be having the computers. Via the computer, I got switches in the computer. Click it, automatically the motor is controlled. So via the computer, I'm going to do it. And that's where your IoT comes into the picture. You may ask me a question, what is IoT? Via internet, we are able to control the motors or an electronic device from the computers or an external devices. That's referred to as IoT. This project is a basic version of IoT, Internet of Things. Via this one, I'm going to control a motor. So our YouTube channel is Wikitiki Code. You can subscribe to our channel to get lots and lots of projects. I'm planning to load minimum of 1,000 projects at a shot on different technologies and different domains. You can utilize it and you can do it step by step. So I've given all the installation details and what are the softwares needed and everything. And our website is wikitiki.com. Over there, go to Projects tab, click it. You can see all the projects. Click it and learn as much as you can. This is a kind of social initiative to motivate the technology to the people through step-by-step process via YouTube channels and videos. That's it. Let's move on to the project. Thank you.
Hi, I'm going to talk about a robotic motor controller. So go to this URL www.wikitiki.com final year project/.net. You go to this URL, you are able to see the project here, robotic motor controller. If you click it, automatically you'll be seeing all the documents and everything. The basic thing is this project is created with C# and Arduino software. So the overall system is I'm going to control my motors via the push button, via the electronics devices, and also via the computer. So these two things I'm going to integrate. So it's a kind of a basic version of IoT. So let's see. So initially what you have to do is on clicking this one. So if you click this one, automatically your Visual Studio installation is there. We got this step-by-step process go to Google, search for Visual Studio, everything, and it's a step-by-step. If you couldn't understand, I got the video here. Similarly, you got the Arduino installation here. So how to download and install your Arduino software. So once if you install, automatically your project, you can do your project. Here is the videos how to do project. Follow this video and follow the introduction part to finish this project. And in the hardware part, so the hardware connectivity I'll be explaining in this video in the later stage. So here is the hardware configuration, you have to make it out. You're able to see you got your Arduino board here and your motor and motor driver AC, it's L293D, and you got the motor here and you got the 9-volt batteries and everything for this power supply, and I got the push buttons here. So here is the circuit from the microcontroller. I'm going to use it like a 7, 6, 8, 9. These are the pins I'm going to use it for controlling my motor. Let's move on how to start your coding parts. So I'm going to, so on clicking this Arduino, so you'll be getting your Arduino software here. Arduino, once if it is installed, automatically you're able to see the exe here. Automatically your Arduino will be opened here. So open your Arduino and you can start your process. So you can write a piece of code. So I'm going to write a piece of code. First thing is I need to check out the pin mode. So pin mode, I got my 7 as a pin, which is an input, and I got the another pin 8, which is the input. So 7 and 8 needs to be connected to the push button. 7 is here and 8th pin. So both of the pins I'm trying to connect it to the push button. and I'm getting the output 5 as output and pin mode 6 as output. So these are the outputs and it's coming out from Arduino board to the motor. Okay, so these are the things I given. Now, so I'm trying to add another piece of code, serial, which is not needed for here, since I'm trying to connect my Arduino board with the computer. So I'm going to give this information. So serial.begin 9600 as the baud rate. What I'm trying to do is like I'm going to write a small piece of code for the push button. If this is the input, digital read. If digital read of 7 is equal to 1. You are able to write the piece of code digital write 5 comma high. So digital write 6 comma low. Over here we should understand very important part. So considering I'm trying to give 2 pins connected to the motor, automatically you got so pin 5, pin 6, pin 5 and 6. If both are high, motor not running. Considering this is high and this is low, motor running. Considering I got this this one is low and this one is high, the motor is running. If it is low, the motor will not run. So it's kind of a 1 1 1 0 0 1 0 0. So I should give the pin as 1 and 0. So this is the piece of code I'm right. So 5 is high and 6 is low. I'll take this code, I'll give it here. So 8. Over here 8. So because input is 8. If 8 is given, this is off. This is to on the motor and off the motor. I'll make it both as high. So obviously if it is both are high, motor will not run. So obviously like I'm able to make it out. So this is a piece of code for the push button. Now let me talk about the serial data read and serial data in so that I can control from my computer. So this is a piece of code. If serial dot available is greater than 0, serial dot available greater than 0. So this is a piece of code I'm going to write it. So here well, what we can do is like I'm trying to get the serial data int the input serial data is equal to serial dot read. If the input serial data is equal to 49, in that case what we can do is like I can have, so this 49 indicates from the computer give the input 1. 1 is converted into ASCII, which your Arduino board will understand. Okay, so the code is ready. Or else if it is 48 0, the input is 0, give the input 0, automatically this will become high 0. Okay, so I'll remove this one. So if the input data is 1, automatically on the motor of the motor. That's it, it's ready to go. This is a piece of Arduino code you need to write. And before proceeding, you need to extract the libraries. We need the libraries. So I got the images, and this is the images, and you need the libraries. Okay, so I'll try to create a folder, Wikitiki Robotic Arduino project. So from this path, clicking this one, you are able to extract the libraries. So what we can do is like, I got the images, you can download it from the path, and you need the libraries. You need the library. Yes, library. I'm going to create the project now. So library I receive, and images I'll be getting it from. So these two things you need to get it from this library path, the project. Now let's start the project. So Visual Studio 2017. To install Visual Studio 2017, over here you got the path. On clicking this one, you are able to see your Visual Studio. Install the software and let's start the project. So File, New Project. So Visual C#, Windows Classic Desktop, Windows Form App. Now the path of the project is here. So I'll give it here, and my project is Robotic Arduino Micro Robotic Arduino motor. So clicking OK, automatically the project is created. It's trying to create the project. The project is ready to go. The first form, I'll make it as a login form first. So to access my project, I need a login form. It's asking whether I need to change everywhere. Yes. So over here I saved it, right click, properties, the start position is center screen, and I'll remove this form border style to none. So I need two text boxes. So one, another one is another text box. I need a label. I got the label. I got another label. So right click properties, give it as user name, and here is the label to give the password. Now I need a button 1. I need another button. Okay, so right click properties, give the button else cancel, and over here I got the button, make it as submit. Now I got my button, submit and cancel button, place it here, right click on properties, I'll make it as flat. Okay, now right click properties, I need to search for the images, so background image, click it, and where is the images? Over here. So I'll take it here, I'll go here, import. So I'll try to add this one. Looks good. My login page is ready. Okay, so I'll increase it to see the picture. That looks good. So right click properties, background image, stretch. Good. I got my login page ready. So I'll go to label, grab and put it here. Robotic motor controller project. I'll change the font. And select it. Right click properties. I want the back color transparent. And what is the font? To red color. And these two things, select it. Right click properties. I'll change the back color as transparent, and the forecolor as the green color, or to show the difference, I'll use yellow color. Yes, I got the username and password ready to go. Okay, so this is the cancel button. For that I write a small piece of code. This dot close. This dot close. And over here I got the submit button. Okay, so let's have if I got my text box 1, and this one is text box 2. Okay, so if of string username is equal to text box 1 dot text string password is equal to text box 2 dot text. If username is equal to admin and password is equal to admin. If the username and password is admin, then okay, so message box dot show, I'll make it as a valid user. Else I'll have it as invalid user. Okay, it's ready to go. Let's build the project. Now I restart the project. I'm going to run it to see, like, to to see how the things works. Admin. Now I'm clicking submit button, valid user. If I give some other thing, it's invalid user. So this is how I'll be finished. So now we finished with the first module now. Admin. So if username and password is same or admin, it's valid user, else it's invalid user. So this is the first module we designed it. Let's move on to the second module, where what I'm going to do is like this is the project. Right click, add new item, click it. Over here you're able to get the Windows form here. Okay, so the form name is like a motor control.cs. I got the form here. Save it. Right click, properties. The start position is center screen, and we can have the form border style as none. Right click, properties, and background image. I'm trying to import. I'll take this one, click OK. So I got my window ready. I need two buttons. Toolbox, button 1, I'll have this button. Right click, properties, I'll make the button on text as motor on, and the flat style I'll make this flat, and the background color, back color I'll make it as transparent. So forecolor I'll make it as green. Right click, copy, right click, paste. This one is motor off, and I got my forecolor as yellow. If you want, you can increase the font size. Right click, properties, font, I'll change the font as motor on and motor off. Here is the login page. I'll copy this one and I'll paste it here. Okay, so this is the one. So what is the CS name? Class name is motor control. Copy it. I'll go to login form. On clicking the submit button, I need motor controller. Motor control is equal to new motor control. Motor control dot show, and I'll hide this form. This as this dot hide. That's it. So build it and run it. So I got my admin. Submit. Add user. I went to this form. Looks good. And write the piece of code for motor on and motor off. And let's have an exit button also here. So I'll take the link label, put it here, right click, properties. The back color should be transparent and the link color should be a white color. We can have this one here. Right click, text is exit. On clicking this one, this dot close. So I'll run it here. Admin submit. Here is the exit code. Looks good. So we need to write the code for these two buttons. Motor on. Before that, we need the library to be downloaded. So as I told, I need the library. This one will be taking it from this particular path, libraries. So I got my library. I'll copy this URL. So solution, I go to my references, add reference, right click and add reference. So browse, we'll give this one. This is the one. I add it, click OK. So I got the references here, Wikitiki Arduino. So I'll create a path, sorry, object, Wikitiki Arduino dots, Wikitiki Arduino, it's Wikitiki Arduino robot is equal to new Wikitiki Arduino. So I've written a small piece of code to create an object for this one. And now on button click, I'm writing it Arduino robot dots Arduino feed. Before writing this piece of code, I need to initialize it. So the initialize component, I'll have it as Arduino robot dots Arduino initialize. We need to provide the port where my Arduino is connected. So in my machine it's COM8. Now over here we are able to see motor off. So I'll copy this piece of code, I'll make it as 1. So this is the piece of code which we need to write to on the motor. This is for off the motor. On the motor. This one is to off the motor. That's it. The code is ready to go. So once again rebuild it and start running it. So I'll give admin, submit, valid user. You're able to see it here. Clicking this one, the motor will on and it will run, and clicking this one, the motor will be off. This button will send the input 1, and the other button will send this the input 1, and this button will send the input as 0. So on, off, on, off, on, off. This is how you are able to control the Arduino board with motors from .NET or computer. So this is a kind of an IoT project. IoT in the sense via internet or via computer devices you are able to control your hardware. So that's it. And this is our YouTube channel where you are able to see all the project videos in a sequence. So learn it and you can do it. So you can forgetting a lot of project details. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is Wikitiki Code. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be putting thousands of videos, and click this bell button to get regular updates. And please share this video to your friends and everyone so that let's change the society. Thanks for watching our Wikitiki videos. Thank you.
Hi, this is your Arduino board. We are going to use it for our robotic motor control. Over here you are able to see the digital pins here, and over here we got the analog pins, and this is the power supply. So we are going to take the pin 8, 7, 6 and 5. So 4 pins we are taking to give the input and output from Arduino board, and apart from that we need the 5 volts for the power supply and ground to make the circuit to be grounded. So this is your microcontroller, and from here it's connected to the computer. From the computer I am trying to connect and control the Arduino board. Let's move on to the circuit. So for running the motor we need the IC, it's L293D. So over here you are able to see there is a 2 areas of pins available, which is of almost 8 pins. Among that we got these pins available. So over here the first pin is referred to as an enable pin to enable the ports or ICs available here, the pins available here. On the other end over here we got the ports. This particular pin is for internal voltage. Over here the last pin to supply for the motor. So this is how it is, and over here first pin is enable, the second pin is for input 1, the third pin is input out, these two pins are ground, and this pin is for output 2, input 2, and finally we got the motor input. Over there I'm trying to give the voltage from the battery, and apart from that we got two push buttons, one and another push button here, 2. These push buttons are used to control the motor on, and this push button is for off. That's how. So we got the circuit ready. Now I'm going to connect the circuit, and we need the battery supply. So we got the battery supply here. Since I want a regulated continuous voltage, so I'm trying to connect these batteries in parallel. So I got a continuous and 9 volts from these batteries, and to rotate the motor we need a motor, right? So I got a fan kind of a flip, so that we are able to connect this particular Arduino board with this motor, and this motor got a positive and negative things. Okay, two wires is connected, so I'm going to use this one, and I got an IR transfer receiver, which I'm going to use it in future references. Now this particular thing is not used now, and we got a lot of connectors here. So these are the connectors I'm going to use it to connect my circuits. So this is a overall picture and the components you should have for doing this particular project. This is the Arduino board. I got a wire connected to the 5 volt area pin, and this is for the ground. So we got two things. Now I got the ground, which I'm going to connect to the breadboard over here. So the entire row will be having grounded. So one end I'm connecting to the resistor. The usage of resistor, I got the resistor value of 4.7 kilo ohm. This resistor is to remove the unwanted pending current or trip current, and it's grounded from the switch which is available. The same thing here, I got the switch. If there is any pending or unwanted current or power supply is there, that will be taken to the ground via the resistor. This is of 4.7 kilo ohm. Now I got my 5 volt, which I'm going to connect to this particular pin, so that overall on the whole it got 5 volts supply carrying on in this entire breadboard. Now I got the pin 8, which is connected to the push button. So from here, from Arduino, we are trying to connect to this push button, and I'm going to give pin 7, which needs to be connected to one end of the push button, and I got another wire which I'm going to connect to pin 6. This needs to be given to the IC. This needs to be given to the input of the IC. So I'm going to give the input of IC, and I got another pin which is connected to pin 5. I need to connect to the inputs of the IC. Now it's connected. So we got the ground pins here, which needs to be ground permanently. So I got one pin which needs to be grounded. So I'm trying to ground it. So push button, so one end is given here, the other end needs to be given 5 voltage. So let me take a wire from here, from this is the other end of the push button. So I'm going to connect to 5 volts here. 5 volts here. Similarly, I took the other end of the push button, and I'm trying to make it as 5 voltage, because the entire line is of 5 voltage. So one end of the 5 voltage is given to the push button, the other end is connected to the Arduino in this push button. The opposite part is grounded. Similarly, over here the push button got 5 volts, 5 volts from here to here, and the other end is connected to Arduino, the other end is grounded. So this is how we connected. So this L293D IC got the inputs ready. Now I need to get the outputs. So over here I got my motor. So one end of the motor is the output area, right? So I'm trying to connect to output of output pin. So this is your output pin. So third pin, I need to connect to the third pin. Similarly, I'm trying to connect my other output to. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th pin. So I connected to the 6th pin. Now these two, the first pin enable and the internal voltage is connected, which needs to be given supply. So obviously I need to give this one connected to 5 volts. So these two pins, the first one in the right side and first one on the left side, got 5 voltage ready to go. And apart from that, my final end is like I need to give a supply to my battery. So I got my battery here, which is of 9 volt, which is connected in parallel. If you got only one battery, it's more than enough, and it should be new. So for safer side, to get a regulated supply, I use this battery. Now I'm going to connect it. So my negative terminal, the blackish wire, I'm going to connect it to the ground, and the positive terminal, which is of reddish wire, which is of 5 volt, 9 volt, I'm going to give it as a supply. Okay, so this is the overall supply we made. And now as I told before this video, we have done the Arduino coding, right? So just I finished the Arduino coding and pressing the push button, so it should work. So looks like I need to check it out, the feasibility of the thing. So I'm going to connect to my computer, my laptop, with the Arduino core. So Arduino is one of the software which is used. It's an open source software. Over there you are able to write your code for the robotics programming. So this particular piece of code, so we got our COM port available. Over here you are able to see the COM port. It's a COM8. Okay, so this is connected to this particular wire, and it is feed. This particular piece of code is a feed into the Arduino board here. So as I told, these pins are 7, it's 5, 6, 7, 8. These 4 pins are connected to the board, and if I press this switch button, you are able to see the fan is rotating. Over here, I'm trying to press this button, you're able to see it's off. Now I'm trying to connect this one. So we got your on, off, on, off, on, off. As I told, we have seen the coding part of Arduino, how we have written in our previous video. So probably like this is how you are able to control your robotic motor with a robotic control with the Arduino board. Thanks for watching. Our YouTube channel is Wikitiki Code. You can subscribe to our channel, and you can share this to your friends, and this is a kind of a social initiative to help the students to make their own project. That's it. Thanks for watching this video.